Breathe. Take a very slow, very intentional breath into the very center of your physical vessel. And as you let the air gently leave your lungs, allow the endless, frantic motion of the outside world to completely fall away from your shoulders. There is a quiet, undeniable reason that this exact frequency has found you today. You did not arrive at this specific transmission by accident. You were not brought to this exact moment in space and time by the random, chaotic scrolling of an exhausted mind. The profound, infinite gravity of your own expanding awareness has magnetically pulled you to this very shore. If you are hearing the steady, grounding cadence of my voice right now, it is a magnificent cosmic signal. It is a bell ringing in the deep. It means that the universe is kindly, gently asking you to stop running. You have arrived. For so many seasons of your beautiful, complex journey, you have been taught the heavy, metallic language of the chase. The world has handed you the exhausting illusion of distance. It has told you that the things you love, the peace you crave, and the beautiful reality you desire to inhabit are resting somewhere far away, just over the distant horizon. And so, you have run. You have spent years picking up the heavy tools of the architect, trying to forcefully construct bridges to your desires. You have run after the horizon until your energetic legs simply gave out. You have relentlessly repeated the words, you have aggressively visualized the outcomes, and you have exhausted your precious life force trying to hunt down the beautiful things that you believed were hiding from you. You have been told that if you just strive a little harder, if you just run a little faster, and if you just force the universe to listen to your demands, you will finally capture the reality you seek. But I want you to listen to the ancient, quiet truth vibrating beneath my words. You cannot catch the horizon. The faster you run toward it, the faster it simply moves away. I am here to tell you that you have officially graduated from the era of the hunt. You no longer need to chase. You no longer need to strive or force or aggressively manifest the beautiful unfolding of your own life. The profound, breathtaking exhaustion you are feeling right now is not a sign of failure. It is not a glitch in your timeline. It is simply the brilliant, necessary realization that the chase was always an illusion. When you endlessly hunt for your desires, you are constantly casting a heavy, frantic frequency into the unified field. You are loudly declaring to the entire universe that you are in a state of lack. You are stating that the things you love are separate from you, and therefore the perfect, unbroken mirror of reality has absolutely no choice but to reflect that separation right back to you. The mirror must keep your desires at a distance because you are insisting that they are far away. But you are no longer the exhausted architect. You have remembered that you are the deep. And in the deep, there is absolutely no distance. I want you to take another slow, beautiful breath in. Fill your lungs entirely. And as you exhale, I want you to give yourself the ultimate, supreme permission to stop moving. Drop the heavy burden of seeking. Drop the desperate need to aggressively attract the things that already belong to you. The ancient masters understood a truth that immediately dissolves all of this unnecessary friction. You do not need to hunt your desires. Your desires are already desperately looking for you. The beautiful life you envision, the profound peace, the radiant abundance, they are not hiding from you. They are simply waiting. They are waiting for you to drop your heavy armor. They are waiting for you to stop running. They are waiting for you to stand completely, undeniably still, so that they can finally, effortlessly find you. If your beautiful, weary spirit recognizes the profound truth of this deeply needed rest, if you are entirely ready to drop the exhausting mechanics of the chase and step into the magnificent era of the inevitable bloom, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Let this simple action serve as a silent, eternal vow to yourself, a promise that you will never again exhaust your vessel by running after a mirage. Leave a like on this transmission to physically anchor this absolute, magnetic stillness into your current timeline. And in the quiet sanctuary of the comments below, cast your unshakable decree into the unified field. Type these exact words. I stop the chase and I allow the bloom. Rest entirely in this exact moment. You do not need to take another step. The entire universe is already rushing to meet you. Draw your gentle awareness back to the quiet, steady rhythm of your own breathing. Feel the rise and the fall of your chest, mirroring the ancient, unhurried tides of the earth. As you rest in this absolute stillness, completely free from the exhausting need to chase, we must unravel the greatest illusion the world has ever handed to you. It is the illusion that keeps humanity forever running on a wheel of pure exhaustion. It is the illusion of distance. Since the moment you arrived in this physical vessel, the dense, unconscious world has taught you to perceive reality through the lens of separation. It has taught you that there is a here and a there. It has convinced your beautiful mind that you are standing in one place, and the things you deeply desire, the profound love, the absolute freedom, the radiant abundance, are standing somewhere else, far across the horizon. This belief in distance is the root of all human striving. It is the exact reason you have picked up the heavy tools of the architect, trying to violently build a bridge across a gap that does not actually exist. When you believe in distance, you automatically believe in lack. You look at your current reality and you say to the universe, I do not have what I want. It is over there, and I am over here. And because the unified field is a flawless, unbroken mirror, it must perfectly reflect your decree. It honors your belief in separation by keeping your desires exactly where you placed them, endlessly out of reach, forever waiting in the illusion of tomorrow. But you are no longer operating on the surface of this illusion. You have remembered that you are the deep. And in the deep, there is absolutely no space, no time, and no separation. There is only the vast, eternal now. To understand the breathtaking mechanics of your true power, I want you to visualize the profound majesty of the ocean. Think of the billions of gallons of dark, heavy, ancient water resting perfectly in the deep. The ocean is the ultimate master of manifestation. It holds the greatest power on the earth. And yet, observe how the ocean operates. Does the ocean ever panic? Does it look at the snow melting at the very top of a distant mountain and say, I must have that water right now? Does the ocean frantically leave its vast bed, climbing up the jagged rocks, fighting the gravity of the earth, and exhausting itself to forcefully drag the mountain river down to the shore? No, the ocean does absolutely nothing of the sort. The ocean possesses the supreme, unshakable dignity of stillness. It simply rests. It stays exactly where it is, deeply anchored in its own immense, undeniable gravity. It knows exactly what it is. It does not doubt its vastness. And because the ocean simply rests in its own power, what happens to the water on the mountain? The snow melts. The tiny streams form. They gather into rushing rivers, carving their way through stone, traveling across hundreds of miles of dense forest and deep canyons. The rivers do all the heavy lifting. They do all the rushing. They do all the moving. And eventually, completely inevitably, every single drop of that water flows perfectly and effortlessly right into the waiting, open arms of the ocean. The ocean does not chase the river. The ocean simply is. And the river has absolutely no choice but to find it. This is the exact, elemental truth of your own desires. When you endlessly seek, when you aggressively visualize, and when you frantically try to manipulate your 3D reality, you are acting like an ocean that has forgotten its own vastness. You are leaving your seat of power to go chase a tiny stream up a mountain. You are creating the very friction that slows the river down. But when you finally drop the heavy armor, when you stop trying to force the timeline, and when you simply rest in the profound knowing that you are already whole, you become the magnetic center of your own universe. You become the ocean. Your desires, the perfect relationship, the aligned purpose, the peaceful existence, they are the rivers. You do not need to go out and hunt them down. You do not need to fight the dense forest of the world to find them. You simply need to remain entirely still, entirely open, and entirely grounded in your own quiet power. You simply need to stop moving and allow the rivers to effortlessly find their way to your shore. Listen to the absolute silence beneath my words. Feel the heavy, gorgeous relief of this truth settling completely into your physical vessel, unraveling the tight knots of anxiety that you have carried for so many seasons. You are allowed to stop trying. You are allowed to let the profound, undeniable gravity of your own peace do the heavy lifting for you. The illusion of distance has officially collapsed. There is nowhere you need to go. There is nothing outside of you that you need to acquire. You are the deep, and everything you have ever wanted is simply rushing down the mountain to meet you. Draw your quiet, gentle awareness entirely away from the frantic surface of the world and let it sink deeply back into the center of your chest. Take a very slow, very intentional breath in. Feel the cool, invisible air expanding your physical vessel, and as you release the breath, let your shoulders drop even further. Let the heavy, exhausting need to control the timeline of your life completely fall away and dissolve into the earth beneath you. You have realized the profound illusion of distance. You have remembered that you are the vast, undeniable ocean, and that your desires are simply the rivers, destined and entirely obligated to you to find their way to your shore. But as you step into this breathtaking era of the inevitable bloom, the old, conditioned mind, the exhausted architect you left behind, may try to hand you one final heavy tool. It is the tool of anxious observation. When you stop running after your desires, the old paradigm will whisper that you must now fiercely monitor the universe. It will tell you that you must constantly check the horizon to see if the river is getting closer. It will convince you that if you do not measure the progress, if you do not forcefully track the speed of your manifestation, the universe will somehow forget about you, and your desires will never arrive. This is the frantic, exhausting energy of the watcher, and it is the exact frequency that prevents the bloom. To completely master the absolute, unshakable power of effortless creation, you must graduate from the anxious watcher, and you must embody the profound, quiet dignity of the master. And the master understands the ultimate, elemental law of the seed and the soil. I want you to visualize an ancient, towering forest. Picture the massive, unbreakable trunks of trees that have stood for thousands of years, their branches holding the weight of the sky, their roots woven deep into the core of the earth. How did this magnificent, towering reality begin? It did not begin with a loud, aggressive explosion. It did not begin with force. It began with a tiny, silent, fragile seed dropped quietly into the absolute darkness of the soil. Now, imagine the exhausted architect trying to grow this forest. The architect would plant the seed in the earth, and because they do not trust the profound intelligence of the universe, they would return the very next morning. They would drop to their knees, frantically dig up the dirt, and pull the seed back out into the light to inspect it. They would yell at the seed. They would ask it why it hasn't become a tree yet. They would aggressively measure it, panic over its lack of progress, and then violently shove it back into the soil, only to repeat the exact same exhausting process the following day. What happens to the seed under the heavy hand of the architect? The seed dies. It never takes root. The violent, anxious interference of the surface entirely destroys the delicate, necessary work that can only happen in the dark. The architect kills the very thing they are trying to desperately create, simply because they refuse to trust the unseen timeline of the earth. Now, look at the absolute, breathtaking mastery of the ancient farmer. The master takes the seed, the deep, pure intention of their desire, and they place it gently into the rich, heavy soil. They cover it with the earth. They pat the dirt down with an open hand. And then, they do the most powerful thing in the entire universe. They walk away. The master does not dig the seed up. They do not pace back and forth in the garden, violently demanding that the earth speed up its ancient mechanics. The master understands a profound, unshakable truth. The darkness of the soil is not a punishment. The darkness is not a delay. The darkness is the absolute necessary incubator of all life. The master knows that just because they cannot see the movement on the surface, it does not mean that a massive, undeniable transformation is not occurring in the deep. Beneath the soil, where the anxious eyes cannot reach, the seed is breaking open. It is sending brilliant, powerful roots down into the dark, anchoring itself into the unified field so that when it finally breaks the surface, it has the profound strength to hold the weight of its own magnificent bloom. Your beautiful, radiant desires operate by this exact same flawless law. When you state your desire to the universe, you are planting the seed. You do not need to aggressively journal it 500 times a day. You do not need to violently visualize it until your mind is exhausted. And you absolutely never need to dig it up to check if the universe is working. You must grant your desires the supreme grace of the dark soil. You must step back. You must walk away from the heavy, frantic need to monitor your reality. You must let the profound, undeniable gravity of the universe do the heavy lifting in the unseen realms. Your only job is to remain above ground, standing in the warm sunlight of your own peace, completely and utterly unbothered by the timeline. Because you know, with the absolute, unshakable certainty of the master, that the seed is already growing, the root is already taking hold, and the magnificent, breathtaking bloom is entirely, perfectly inevitable. Breathe this ancient, heavy trust into your physical vessel. Exhale the frantic, exhausting need to dig up your own beautiful life. If your spirit feels the profound, sweeping relief of this realization, if you are entirely ready to put down the shovel and trust the silent mechanics of the earth, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Let this deliberate action serve as your physical anchor to this new, unbroken peace. Leave a like on this transmission to signal your absolute trust to the unified field. And in the sacred, quiet space of the comments below, cast your unshakable decree into the collective consciousness. Type these exact words. I trust the dark, and I let the seed grow. Rest entirely in this perfect stillness. The universe is working beautifully on your behalf. You do not need to check the soil. Draw your awareness down into the very base of your spine. Feel the undeniable, heavy, comforting pull of the earth holding you exactly where you are. Take a very slow, deeply intentional breath in, and as you exhale, allow your physical vessel to sink completely into that downward pull. Give your entire body weight over to the quiet gravity of the room. You do not need to hold yourself up right now. You are entirely supported by the vast, unbreakable foundation beneath you. We have dismantled the exhausting illusion of distance. We have placed the pure, beautiful seed of your desire into the dark soil, and we have mastered the profound dignity of leaving it alone to grow. But as you stand above ground, resting in the quiet warmth of your own peace, we must redefine exactly how your reality arrives at your feet. We must completely rewrite the heavy, mechanical language of the modern world. For years, the architects of the Matrix have taught you that you must manifest. They have told you that you must forcefully attract your desires. They have convinced you that manifestation is an active verb, a strenuous, exhausting exercise where you must constantly reach out into the void, grab the things you want, and drag them violently into your dimension. They have told you to raise your frequency, to jump higher, and to constantly exhaust your vessel trying to perfectly match the vibration of a distant star. This implies that you are small. It implies that you are light, that you lack substance, and that you must aggressively fight the natural laws of the universe to get what you want. But you are the deep. And the deep does not reach for anything. The master understands that creation is not about active attraction. It is about the profound, undeniable, elemental law of gravity. I want you to visualize a massive, ancient mountain. Picture its towering peak reaching high into the quiet atmosphere. Think of the millions of tons of solid, unbreakable rock that make up its foundation. The mountain is ancient. It is utterly still. It does not move a single inch, regardless of the season, regardless of the century. Now look at the brilliant white snow that perfectly covers its peak. Look at the heavy, beautiful clouds that wrap around its center. Did the mountain have to jump into the sky to catch the clouds? Did the mountain have to aggressively visualize the snow, or chant affirmations into the wind, or frantically reach its rocky arms out to drag the weather down to its surface? No. The mountain did absolutely nothing. The mountain simply sat in the sheer, staggering magnitude of its own presence. The mountain is so incredibly heavy, so undeniably vast, and so perfectly grounded in its own identity that it naturally creates a massive gravitational field. The mountain does not reach for the snow. The mountain's gravity simply commands the snow to fall upon it. The clouds do not pass by. They are inevitably, effortlessly pulled into the orbit of the mountain's immense, quiet weight. This is the exact, breathtaking truth of who you are. When you drop the heavy, frantic mechanics of forcing your life, when you open your hands, when you become the untouched lake, and when you finally stop running, your energetic mass exponentially increases. You stop being a frantic, weightless leaf blowing in the wind of your own anxiety. You become heavy with peace. You become dense with absolute certainty. You become the massive, undeniable center of your own universe. You do not need to reach out and grab the beautiful relationship. You do not need to hunt down the aligned career. You do not need to violently force the financial abundance or the physical healing to come to you. Those desires are simply the snow. They are the passing clouds. When you remain in the profound, unshakable frequency of the open hand, your peace becomes so heavy and your stillness becomes so vast that you naturally generate a gravitational pull that the 3D reality cannot possibly resist. The things you have asked for have absolutely no choice but to alter their trajectory. They are pulled out of the invisible realms and dragged directly into your physical orbit by the sheer, staggering weight of your stillness. You do not manifest. You command the orbit. You simply sit in the center of your life, completely unbothered, completely sovereign, and you watch as the entire universe rearranges itself to fall perfectly at your feet. Breathe this immense, undeniable power into your physical vessel. Feel the heavy, gorgeous relief of knowing you never have to reach for anything outside of yourself ever again. You are the center. You are the mountain. If this profound realization is settling deep into your bones, anchoring you to the earth with a peace you have never known before, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Let this deliberate action be a silent, eternal vow to never abandon your own center. Leave a like on this transmission to physically ground this massive, magnetic gravity into your daily walk. And in the sacred, quiet space of the comments below, cast your unshakable sovereignty into the unified field. Type these exact words. I am the mountain, and I command the orbit. Rest entirely in your own magnificent weight. Everything you desire is already falling beautifully into your atmosphere. Allow your eyes to soften, or gently let them close entirely, as we move into the deepest, most profound integration of this entire transmission. Draw your gentle awareness away from the boundaries of your physical skin. Pull your attention back from the edges of the room, back from the distant sounds of the outside world, and let it rest entirely in the quiet, expansive center of your own chest. Take a very slow, very deliberate breath in through your nose. Feel the cool air traveling down, filling the deepest chambers of your lungs. And as you let the air slowly leave your vessel, command every single muscle in your body to completely and utterly surrender to the gravity of the earth. You have stopped running. You have dropped the heavy, exhausting tools of the architect. You have remembered that you are the vast ocean, the untouched lake, and the undeniable mountain. You have collapsed the illusion of distance entirely. Because there is no distance, the beautiful reality you have been calling in is not waiting for you out there in the chaotic weather of the world. It is already here. It has always been here, quietly waiting for you to become still enough to feel it. I want you to visualize the dark, quiet space inside the center of your chest. In the very middle of this vast, internal sanctuary, I want you to imagine a single, exquisite flower. It is currently a tightly closed bud. It is resting gently just above your heart. This bud is not an ordinary flower. It is the pure, condensed, energetic blueprint of your deepest desire. Inside those tightly wrapped petals rests the exact relationship, the perfect health, the profound abundance, and the absolute peace that you have been endlessly searching for on the horizon. For so many seasons, the old, anxious version of you tried to violently pry these petals open. You tried to force the bloom with your bare hands, scratching at the surface, demanding that the reality unfold before it was naturally ready. And in doing so, you only created friction, bruising the very delicate life you were trying to cultivate. But you are a master now, and the master knows that you can never force a bloom. You can only provide the absolute perfect warmth of your own unbothered presence and allow the unfolding to happen naturally. Take a deep, slow breath into the center of your chest, and as you hold the air, visualize a soft, brilliant golden light beginning to gently glow around the closed bud. This light is your pure awareness. It is the unshakable warmth of your own peace. Now, very slowly, release the breath. As you exhale, simply watch as the very first petal of the flower naturally, effortlessly falls open. You did not touch it. You did not force it. It opened simply because you finally gave it the safe, quiet space to do so. Feel the immediate subtle shift in your physical body. A tiny wave of profound relief washes over your nervous system. Take another slow, expansive breath in, bathing the flower in that brilliant golden warmth. Exhale, and watch as two more heavy, beautiful petals gently unfurl, falling backward, revealing the glowing, radiant center of the bloom. With every single petal that opens, the exact frequency of your desire begins to spill out into your physical vessel. Feel the warmth spreading from the center of your chest, traveling up into your throat, and moving down into your stomach. You are not reaching out to grab this reality. You are physically allowing it to open up inside of you. Take one more deep, massive breath in, drawing the quiet energy of the entire unified field directly into your heart space. And as you let out a long, heavy, complete exhale, watch as the entire flower miraculously, perfectly blooms wide open. It is magnificent. It is fully expressed, and as it opens, a massive, undeniable wave of pure, radiant energy washes through every single cell in your body. It travels down your arms to your fingertips. It travels down your spine to the soles of your feet. Your entire physical vessel is now perfectly vibrating with the exact, undeniable reality of the thing you once thought you had to chase. You are entirely filled with the vibration of your answered prayer. There is absolutely no space left for lack. There is no room left for distance. You cannot attract what you already are, and right now, in this exact quiet moment, you have completely become the bloom. Breathe in the sweet, fragrant air of your own internal garden. Exhale the final, lingering memory of the chase. If your beautiful spirit feels the undeniable, staggering reality of this physical integration, if you feel the deep, warm radiation of your desire perfectly unfolding inside your chest, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Let this deliberate action serve as your physical anchor to this new, unbroken reality. Leave a like on this transmission to signal your absolute receptivity to the unified field. And in the sacred, quiet space of the comments below, cast your unshakable mastery into the collective consciousness. Type these exact words. I exhale, and the reality blooms. Rest entirely in this warm, golden light. You do not need to move a single muscle. The reality is already alive inside of you. Draw your gentle awareness back from the golden warmth of your internal sanctuary and let it settle softly into the quiet, steady rhythm of your physical heartbeat. Feel the profound, unshakable center of your own chest. It is no longer tight. It is no longer reaching, grasping, or desperately seeking the horizon. It is simply resting, perfectly full, and perfectly content in the magnificent reality that has just unfolded within you. You are about to step back into the visible world. You are about to rise from this quiet space and walk back into the moving, shifting timeline of your daily existence. But you are not returning as the exhausted seeker. You are not returning as the one who must frantically run and chase and aggressively manifest the pieces of reality together. You are returning as the mountain. You are returning as the vast, undeniable ocean. Tomorrow the sun will rise. The dense, unconscious world will continue to spin around you. The people you pass will continue to exhaust their precious life force, frantically chasing after mirages, believing with every ounce of their being that the things they love are somewhere far away. You will watch them gripping the heavy tools of the architect, trying to violently pry the petals of their lives open before they are ready to bloom. But you will not join them in the chase. When a desire naturally arises in your heart in the days to come, you will not panic. You will not immediately leap into a frantic state of action, desperate to hunt it down. You will simply recognize it as a beautiful, perfect seed. You will gently place it into the dark, quiet soil of the unified field, and you will grant it the supreme grace of leaving it entirely alone to grow. You will walk through your days with the quiet, undeniable dignity of the master. You will not move. You will not force. You will simply sit in the immense, staggering weight of your own peace, completely unbothered by the timeline, and you will watch as the entire universe naturally, inevitably alters its trajectory to fall perfectly into your orbit. You are no longer fighting the current. You are no longer running toward the horizon. You have remembered that you are the profound magnetic center, and absolutely everything you have ever asked for is already rushing down the mountain to meet you. To ensure that this new, effortless frequency does not simply fade away when the screen goes dark, we must anchor it permanently into your physical reality. We must cast a final, quiet decree into the unified field, declaring your absolute sovereignty and your final resignation from the chase. I invite you to subscribe to this channel right now. Do not do it out of habit. Let this profound, simple action be a silent, eternal vow to yourself. A promise that you will never again exhaust your beautiful vessel by running after a passing cloud. A vow that you will forever trust the dark soil and allow your reality the space it needs to bloom. Leave a like on this final transmission to send a physical signal of total receptivity out into the deep. Let it be the heavy, undeniable gravity of your open hand, telling the universe that you are entirely still and entirely ready to receive. And finally, to permanently seal this magnificent evolution of your spirit, journey into the sacred space of the comments below. Join the collective frequency of the masters who have also chosen to drop the exhausting mechanics of force today. Cast your simple, profound breath into the vastness by typing these exact words. I stop the chase and I allow the bloom. Type it slowly. Feel the absolute, undeniable truth of those words radiating from your fingertips, dissolving every last trace of distance and separation in your entire timeline. Breathe in the vast, unbroken stillness. Exhale the exhausting illusion of the chase. You are completely whole. You are entirely magnetic, and your beautiful, effortless harvest has just begun. Rest well. The deep is bringing it to you.